I was thinking A major pentatonic across the A chords and A minor pentatonic across the rest of it. Why? Well, A major pentatonic obviously fits really well over the A7 chord, but A major pentatonic will not fit across the D7 chord and the E7 chord. I could, if I'd have wanted to, play D major pentatonic and E major pentatonic across those two chords. But the other option is just to play A minor pentatonic over the D and the E chords, because A minor pentatonic will fit across the whole progression, right? A major pentatonic won't. So this is kind of a way of easing yourself into that, mixing that major and minor thing. So let's look at what I did. I was using position 2 initially. Now position 2 contains within it this chord. The notes in this chord are within this scale. And you need to see the notes in this chord within the scale, because you can target those notes because they're chord tones, right? So when I say target them, what I mean is you kind of end your phrases on them, because it's like you're playing back into the chord. So my first phrase was this. Now I'm going from the minor third into the major third and the flat 5 into the 5. So these two notes aren't in the chord, but these two are. So I'm moving from out of the chord into the chord, and that's kind of why it sounds good. Then I'm doing this. So I'm moving from the A note down to the 6. So I'm going root, 6, 5, 6, root. So again, I'm starting, well, this time I'm starting on a chord tone, moving away from a chord tone and coming back to a chord tone. So that's why it's strong, all right? And then I repeated that the second time. But I just stuck that on the end as a little bit of fluff, right? So here I'm just kind of thinking of my A chord and playing part of that, right? Now, when I went to the D, I did something like... Because now I'm thinking A minor pentatonic, right? But I'm thinking A minor pentatonic from a D perspective, right? So when I do this, you might be thinking, well, he's landed on an A. I have landed on an A, but the A is the 5 of the D. So I've hit a chord tone of the D. So that little phrase that would work really well across the A chord, but it works really well across the D chord as well. Then when it comes back to the A, I do something like... So I'm doing a similar phrase to the one I did at the start, but again, putting a bit more fluff on the end. And here I'm just thinking of position 2, ending on a root note, okay? And when it comes to the 5 chord, I'm thinking A minor pentatonic. So this is descending in threes, triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, so that's a little run in triplets there over the E, because it's kind of like I'm trying to play something just a little bit faster, just to get a little bit of dynamism going on there, something a little bit different maybe. I also do lessons as well, teaching quite a few people this blues vocabulary now. So if you want to hit me up for a free 15-minute lesson, just click on the link below on the Calendly link and just pick a time slot for you, and I'll see you there. So that's one way you can play across the blues. It's quite a common way. B.B. King did this a lot. So he's playing major over the one chord and kind of minor over the rest. And it sounds good. It works really well because you're kind of outlining the A7 chord to start off with, and then you're kind of going somewhere else. The minor's got a different sort of feel to playing major. The major feel is quite pretty over the blues. The minor feel is a little bit more angular, maybe. These are just adjectives that make sense to me. All right. So it just creates that dynamism, you know, and you want to create different things. You don't want everything to be the same, otherwise it sounds a bit boring. So that is one really good way to play. Now you could reverse that. You could play A minor pentatonic across the A and D major across the D and E major across the E. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like the sound of it particularly, but it's a totally valid way of playing. I'm not saying you can't do it. You absolutely can do it. One way I might do it's not dissimilar to that I prefer is A minor pentatonic across the A minor pentatonic across the D, right? Then back to A minor pentatonic, and then across the E and the D at the end of the progression, then play like E major and D major. I think that works quite well. But basically you can mix this up however you want, right? But what you need to try and do is plan it out first of all. Don't just kind of just blast into it and think, I'm going to mix this up any old how. Come up with a plan. So plan one could be major over the A, like we did, and then minor over the D and the E. Yeah, but play around with it, have fun, drop any questions down in the box below. That's always cool. Don't forget, as always, to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that sort of stuff. Super important. And don't forget to check me out on Patreon as well. Patreon channel's going really well. Lots of great content on there. Really good value for money. That's on the link below as well. And catch you next time.